Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to Gale FFTCG. I'm Serah, your host, and today, you might have guessed it from the background, we're looking at Scions of the Seventh Dawn. If you like this video, please comment, share, and give it a thumbs up. If you want to support me, you can scan the QR code in the corner or follow the link in the description. So basically, there's been a little bit of an arms race with Yuna to see which deck she belongs in best. There's been Ice and Lightning, which has been a very good deck for sure. But I wondered if we could do better. And so I kind of went back through my mental database of all the cool 2-for-1s. Obviously, 7-Wall was out of the equation already. And I just wasn't really super jazzed. I thought, oh, maybe there's like a Turbo Ice deck, and there probably is, to be honest. But I think that needs some more exploration. I thought, oh, well, maybe Knights. Some people I know had suggested Knights. It doesn't belong in Knights. Knights already has more than enough that it wants to do without potentially bricking with Yuna or something like that. So I think this was kind of not the direction I wanted to take it. And so I thought, maybe Scions will do that. And it turns out Scions have a lot of 2-for-1 forwards, and that is a really good place for Yuna. So without further ado, let's just jump straight in. We're on 29 forwards, probably the most forwards I've included in a deck in a significant amount of time. And genuinely, most of these forwards, some of them, name class obviously being a thing in Final Fantasy TCG, a lot of these cards do definitely seem like there is some name clash, but each one is very situational, and you don't necessarily have to worry about what ones you'll need at the time you'll get them. You'll know when you need them, and you'll know what's best. We're on 14 backups and 7 summons. Nothing special to say about them yet, so. Our play style is tempo mid-range. Weakest matchup, as per usual, is control, and our elements are lightning, water, and fire. So obviously we're running 2 of the new Yuna. It's one of the focal points of the deck. You can dole 2 active forwards and choose up to 2 forwards, dole them, choose up to 1 character, freeze it, or you can add attacks onto summons. And if your opponent doesn't pay 1, you cancel that summon. That's insanely good, especially because of the versatility of it. It really means that all of our Scions that bring back or cheat cards out of deck that are 2 forwards just means that Yuna suddenly has free ways of playing these cards out really quickly. Our opponent might be ahead in terms of resources, but because of how fast Scions can just play out their dudes, basically Yuna now not only plays out dudes, but also gives us tempo swings with those, also gives ways of protecting our more vital pieces. It's just really strong to be able to play this kind of tempo game with such a powerful and versatile card as Yuna. Backups, not much to say here. There's obviously some Scions. Tartaru is semi-decent. It's not good in every game, but in the grindier games, it will just give you so much more advantage. Urianger as well is an EX burst that just gets us our Scions, and same with Louis Sois. Drace is a really cool include because we can get Yuna with that. Summons, we just want to protect our dudes at all costs, so we're running 3 Leviathan, 3 Odin because we're on the Legend Lightning, and 1 copy of a Dremelech because board wipes are board wipes, and Scions having an instant speed board wipe that isn't Y'shtola is pretty strong. For our engines, we've got Scions and Royalty. Not much to say here. Grahatia and Alize just being 2-for-1s is insane. With our Yunas. Grahatia being able to search straight from deck is super potent. And it's also worth noting, if we already have Yuna on the field, we can tap her and Graha to stop summons that would deal with Graha, so that's kind of cool. Alize obviously getting back 3 CP could get back Grahatia if we really wanted to pay the insane cost of that. And it can also get back copies of Alphino. It's really important to note that we're running the 3 CP Water Alphino so that we can kill something that's dull off of Alizé's ability, so that's kind of cool. Royalty, we're just running 3 copies of Princess Serah, or of Serah that searches for princesses and kings, and a copy of King of Burmecia, so we can get either Kane, the 6 CP one, or we can also get our copy of Aranea, which is in the deck. For our combos, we've got Hooded Man and Lightning. Hooded Man, for those of you who don't know, you can remove a Kane or Hooded Man from bin, and you can activate all your backups to draw a card. Very, very powerful. It also has haste, so it's a cool tempo play. Just remember, you can't play your Canes if your Hooded Man is on the field. And we're also running Lightning. Lightning is probably one of my favorite cards, maybe ever printed. I know I'm not alone in that. Basically, being able to recur a guy and draw a card and dull something on your opponent's turn is super strong. Odin, obviously, being an EX burst that kills things is also really good. But I've seen so many games where this Lightning just absolutely steals away the game. Your opponent probably doesn't want to block a Lightning that's on the field because the likelihood of them bringing it back is obviously super high. For protection, obviously, there's Yuna. Choosing a summon or auto ability and then taxing it, doing that multiple times can be really potent on your opponent's turn, especially if they're trying to do some sort of Adrenaline board wipe or something else. Yuna's just great, just so powerful, and for that reason, I think this is perfect. 3 Leviathan, aptly named Aqua Terrasu in our kind of meta. This card is just great. Not much more to say about that. Now, the most interesting part is the amount of removal. I forgot to include Alphino here, but we've got Y'shtola, which can be an instant speed board wipe, or if it comes in off of like an Alizé, it just kills something. Super strong. We've got 2 copies of the 4 CP Thancred. When it enters the field, choosing 1 forward opponent controls. If you control 4 or more Scion of the 7th Dawn, you get to break that. Super easy to hit that number in this deck. And when Thancred's put to the bin, you can choose a forward of cost 3 or less in your break zone play to the field. That's any forward. We can bring back Yunas. We can bring back Lightnings. Y'shtola. So many good cards out of this. Just talked about a drummer like the Rock. It's Roth. It's one of the new cards from the set. Dealing 7k to all your forwards. And taking a point of damage, potentially if you're an EX burst. Pretty powerful. You can make it cheaper if you need to. By getting rid of a Lightning backup, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that just because there's not actually that many Lightning backups in the deck. Odin we've talked about. Aranea is just really strong, killing something of 3 CP or of 5 CP at damage 5 is really good. Haste and First Strike is very good tempo play. And Kane also almost functions a bit like a Brynhildr in Lightning. Basically, you can just kill a thing and it's dead. Like, nothing more to say here. If hopefully you never have to EX burst this and it's just in your bin as fodder, but if it comes up, it matters. In our advantage section, I've already kind of touched on Tartaru. We're on 1 copy of Elaborate because I think Grahatia being a 10k for a 14 standard unit is kind of cool, and also it just allows us to put Yunas back into hand in our deck if we're ever clogged in hand. Won't always be necessary, but sometimes it's pretty good. Lightning, obviously, drawing a card is great. We've got 1 copy of Drace that can get us Yuna. Very strong. Louis Swa searching Alizé or Alphino is obviously very good. Hooded Man, already talked about him. Urianger checking the top 4 for a Scion of the 7th Dawn. We're very likely to hit very quickly. Astinian, obviously, is insanely good because when it attacks, we just add a Scion in our bin to hand. It has to be a forward, but so what? It's really good if we're getting like Y'shtola specials or something like that. So our opponent really has to consider whether or not they want Estinian to live or want to blank him before. Very much like Estinian. Limit breaks wise, not really anything crazy to write home about. We're running Titus because we can easily get to the threshold of 8 or more forwards and / or backups, so not a big thing there. There's enough EX burst that I think Lunafrey is still good. Tonberry Cactuar, choosing an active forward of cost 3 or less, breaking it. There's a lot of those nowadays. It's pretty good. Don't play this into a Uniboard though. Pardon me. It is just not worth it. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck as well. Adding one to hand and then putting the other one on the bottom of the deck is pretty good too. It means that we can kind of just tutor and tailor our hand. 1 copy of Cloud, obviously. A copy of Gilgamesh so that we can choose 2 cards in opponent's break zone and remove them from the game. Pretty helpful there. And 2 copies of Leo because card draw is just really good. Yeah, well, thank you for watching. Have a great day and a great rest of your week.